In this video, I hope to clear some confusion about the difference between star ratings by Forbes and Michelin, where diamond ratings fit in, and also clarify the number of the most stars or diamonds that can be awarded. First, it's only right that I make a distinction between reviews and ratings. When you go to a hotel or restaurant, you can leave a review. That review is usually made up of stars on Google or Yelp, or points on TripAdvisor as examples. So people are leaving their opinion and rating their individual experience, which is 100% subjective. This is why you might see a 5-star review for a fast food restaurant like McDonald's, and then a 1-star review for a fine dining restaurant. Now, ratings, on the other hand, are by companies that have an established list of criteria to classify or award levels of service. The idea is that if there is a set of objective standards, then it allows for ratings to be a more reliable and consistent way for guests to find the establishment that meets their expectations. I would argue that the original gold standard in the United States was Mobil's Star Award. Yes, Mobil, the petroleum company, as this was related to travel. This began in 1958 and established a 5-star system. Now, although they are working with 5 stars, they really only have 3 ratings. 5-star, their highest accolade, then 4-star, and then recommended. I suppose recommended is like a 3-star, but they don't call it that. So there is no 1, 2, or 3-star rating. Those are just throwaway ratings for whatever reason. I don't know, but I like Michelin's structure of 3 stars better, and we'll talk about that later. Mobil rates hotels, restaurants, and spas. If an establishment met the rigorous 5-star standard, it meant it was the absolute top tier. You might debate that one 5-star place is a little nicer than another 5-star place, but these are small variations. The bottom line is they are all part of the most elite echelon. I first worked in a 5-star property in the late 1990s, and we wore gold Mobil 5-star award pins. They looked like a small star-shaped sheriff's badge, and they were worn with pride because we had to work hard to meet that standard level. In 2008, the Mobil Travel Guide became the Forbes Travel Guide and continues to set the most critical international standards for hospitality. It may sound like I'm partial to the Forbes star rating, and that's because I am, but not for some arbitrary reason, but rather because they appear to hold a higher standard. The single relevant alternative to the Forbes star rating is the AAA diamond rating. When I say AAA, I'm referring to the American Automobile Association. Apparently, AAA began their site inspections in 1937, but their diamond rating didn't come until 1985. AAA inspects hotels and restaurants, but as far as I know, only Forbes rates spas. AAA's top rating is 5 diamond, followed by 4 diamond. Then, unlike star ratings, AAA does a 3 diamond rating, and additionally, there is an approved designation, which I find virtually useless. I'd rather look at guest reviews rather than ratings at this tier. While I find the 4 and 5 diamond ratings helpful, as they help me narrow down the very best establishments, I don't care for the other designations. This is because when I look at the restaurants that have a 3 diamond rating, I see many unremarkable establishments that will get the job done, but they are definitely not worth going out of your way. In some cases, maybe even better skipped entirely. If I'm looking for casual or budget-friendly places, I find customer reviews more helpful. As for the top tiers, often you will see 4-star establishments will have a 5 diamond rating. What I'm saying is, you will see the rating have 1 more diamond higher than the equivalent star rating, which clearly shows that the standards for diamond designations are not as rigorous as star designations. I'm not trying to pick on AAA. The diamond designation does count for something, but it's not the most discerning designation when it comes to ratings. When talking about star ratings, it's only fair to touch on Michelin, yes, the French tire company. Their star system was born in the early 1900s, and by 1936 they had developed their 3-star gastronomy ratings system. It goes as follows. 1 star means a very good restaurant in its category. 2 star means excellent cooking, worth a detour. 3 star means exceptional cuisine, worth a special journey. And then there are Bib Gourmand restaurants, which is like a recommended or approved designation, defined as good meals at moderate prices. Historically, the Michelin Guide was confined to Europe. They've become international, but only in select regions. For example, they first came to the US via New York in 2005. And 2022 is the first year to include Canada and Florida. One last point to make about star ratings. Sometimes people speak of a 7-star rating, like a 7-star hotel. Forbes' star rating only goes to 5-star, and there isn't a competing international rating system that I know of that goes to 7-star. 5-star is the highest, so 7-star is a made-up reference for something that supersedes the limit, like when someone says, I will give it 110%, but 100% is the true maximum. I suppose anyone could make up a rating system and give a designation of whatever they want, but then again, that effectively is just an individual review. I hope you found this informative. Thanks for watching.